Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the threeohtake, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Ooh, welcome back to the threeohtake, presented by SeatGeek. This is episode 459. I'll be your host, Kyle Corwin, and I'm here with my co-host, Nate Reyes. Nate.
Let's go. Don't talk to me about this August dog days. We're here. We're partying. We're fired up. We got some questions today. We've got some confusion today. We've got some excitement today. We got some bragging today. We've got some things today. You're welcome. Great job on that intro, by the way.
Thank you.
Looks good. We've had some adventures, my friend.
We have. I had fun making that. I was like, man, we've been around the block.
Yeah, I'm excited for some more. We got some more cooked up.
Even dropped a little 2021 wild card trip, a little 2019 Denver trip in there.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything.
This is your alert. This is your news. This is your. We're not really a warning. This is a positive thing. Get your noties turned on. That way you can watch the intro video. We give you just a nice little quick 90 seconds to settle in. Get your popcorn turned on. Tell the wife to be quiet. Get the AirPods hooked up. Whatever you need to do so you can come hang out.
Let's talk some baseball. Before we do that, well, I mean, it's baseball related, but can we just real quick talk about this Machine Gun Kelly first pitch? Because I don't know why you and I are at such odds here with this first pitch.
I'm very confused
confused as to why it bothers you so much.
I hate this guy. Why are you defending him?
I'm not defending him, but I just saw it. I was watching. Okay, well, back up. I saw his interview that he did on MLB Network. And
I had it on mute. I didn't hear anything. What did I miss there?
He's basically just talking about, I mean, it was machine. If you have no idea what we're talking about, it was Machine Gun Kelly Day at Progressive Field in Cleveland. Yesterday?
Fill me in on as to why it's a whole day. Why does he have a whole day?
He's a big Cleveland guy. I couldn't tell you why the Guardians decided, like, hey, let's make this a thing. Couldn't tell you.
Cleveland pride, it confuses me as well. No offense, I'm just a little lost.
No,
there.
I respect it. I'm like, you know what?
Rep your city, but like,
that's
why
a gritty.
Why are we just now hearing about it?
That's a gritty city. Anyway, they interviewed him on on MLB Network, and he's talking about how much he loves Cleveland, and he was promoting his coffee, and he was like, yeah, I can't really say on national TV, but I replaced a previous high with the new caffeine high. It got a good laugh. And I looked it up. He's like a year sober. He seems like he's trying to turn his life around. He's showing up at Progressive Field, putting on for the people, goes out for the first pitch. Well, back up. No, on the interview, they're like, so what are you thinking for this first pitch? And he was like, wow, I was thinking about like a 92 mile an hour curveball, and they had a good laugh out of that. But then he was like, actually, I think since then I've changed my mind. I've got something special rolled up my sleeve. And I'm like, everybody's kind of wondering, like, what could you possibly do? And he goes out there, and what is it? Are they brats? Are they hot dogs? The mascots in Cleveland, there's like four of them.
Nightmare fuel is what they are.
Nightmare fuel. Yeah, we'll just go with that. They're standing behind home plate, and I'm like, this is rigged. He's gonna take one of them out, and that's gonna be that. But instead, pulls out a pen, signs the ball, and yeets it into the crowd. And I go, yeah, you know what? That's funny. And they're talking about it on the broadcast, going, oh, look, Machine Gun Kelly giving back to the crowd, launching a first pitch into the stands. And I thought, yeah, that's different. That's unique. I like that. And then Nate comes out from the clouds. Did anybody see that MGK first pitch? Guy sucks. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm so confused as to why we're hating on a guy for his first pitch.
Well, number one, the guy's a tryhard and can't just settle in on being his own person, his own self. The guy just bounces around all over the place. He tries hard everywhere he goes. And that was just weird. Like, what was the point? What was the point? What was the point of the first pitch? What was the point? Like, this is the point. You and I discussing it being on Twitter. The guy just wants to be like center of attention. I can't stand it. He's got like a pair of jeans on that are like 17 sizes too big. I don't. It freaks me out. The guy's weird, and like I think he drinks blood. I don't know who or what I'm seeing, but I'm not a fan.
I can't speak for whether or not he does that, but it was just, I'm just looking at the first pitch. I thought it was creative and it was unique, and
Stupid.
A fan got a ball because of it. So
I'd like to see what fan where. I'd like to see the arm strength. I'd like to see a zoomed out view. It may change my take on this. I mean, if he's got an arm, it didn't look like it. It didn't look like he had an arm. And he had to get like a running start, which was weird.
If you're yeeting it into the stands, yeah, I would take a running start too.
It would have been funnier if you're just on the mound and you launch it over the backstop. That to me would have been funnier.
I don't get that.
But either way, he's not funny. He's weird, and I don't like it.
All right.
So
it's been established. Nate, not a fan of Machine Gun Kelly.
Look on Twitter. I'm in the majority here. You are in the minority. Look.
I disagree.
Read it.
If you're in the chat, if you're watching on the live stream, drop a 1 if you liked Machine Gun Kelly. If you didn't see it, basically what he did is he heated the ball into the stands instead of throwing the first pitch.
Corn.
Or drop a 2.
Straight corn.
Or drop a 2 if you hated it. 1 if you like the idea. 2 if you hate it. I am personally of the belief that it was a unique idea. That's
cringe.
That's all I'm gonna say. Clearly,
it's a cringe idea.
Clearly, you have something against Machine Gun Kelly. Anyway, we're gonna talk about
Team
Mookie
M&M.
Betts. For the record, I am too.
All right, cool.
All right. Some comments rolling in. Clearly, I am in the minority here. That's fine. Not even going to continue this any longer.
Starting off hot.
Let's talk some Mookie Betts, shall we? Mookie Betts is back, and he was back like he never left, making his return in Milwaukee. And right out of the gate, 2 for 4, hit a bomb, 3 ribbies, a stolen bag. His next game back, 2 for 5. Talk to me about what kind of boost. I mean, it kind of goes without saying. It does go without saying. Having Mookie Betts back in your lineup is big. But specifically, talk to me about the boost that Mookie Betts provides you back in his comfort zone, being in right field, and having the ease of mind of sliding into that 2-hole and maybe taking a little bit of the pressure off of him of being that table setter that he's very good at being, but at least as he's coming back from injury, doesn't have that table setting pressure.
I have nothing but questions. 1, I may live under a rock here, but did he make any rehab starts?
I don't believe so.
And he got how many knocks in his first 2 games back?
He went 2 for 4 with a stolen bag. He had 3 ribbies and a home run. And then second game, so he went between his first 2 games, went 4 for 9.
And was out for how long?
Almost 2 months.
Alien, first off, if that is true. Because I didn't see anything rehab. Like, you always get like a little clip of like, here's so-and-so at their rehab start.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything, so I don't think he did. That's absurd. Secondly, we talked about this last week. I'm in the camp that we need to spread out those 1 through 3 guys. The lineup just needs like a little bit more support. But you do you, Dave Roberts, or excuse me, you do you, Dodgers front office. Dave Roberts just says yes. When he was a Red Sox, was it primarily 2-hole?
He was leading off.
Primarily lead off.
He was leading off.
All right.
Which is what I touched on last episode. And I kind of threw some unnecessary shade at Dave Roberts talking about like, what is this going to look like when he's back? And this was before we knew, I think, that he was going to slide into the 2-hole. It's like, Or no, this was after we found out, because I'm like, this is why Dodger fans get upset with Dave Roberts, because you look at the decision that he makes to say that he's going to be your permanent shortstop, and then he gets hurt, and then it's like, just kidding, we're putting him back in right. And then not only are we going to do that, we're going to take him out of the spot that he produces most,
right,
being the leadoff spot, and we're going to slide him into the 2-hole. It's like decisions like that. I feel like they're given to you on or choices rather, they're given to you on a silver platter, and then Dave Roberts more times than not opts for the one that makes less sense. So this was one of those things where I'm like, I don't know if I agree with this, but then Mookie Betts just goes out and produces either way, because that's what he does. I was just curious as to why not leave him in the spot that he produces more.
Yeah, I don't know. And it's like, Shohei's going to Shohei wherever he's at. You have their first three guys will Shohei, Mookie, and Freddie wherever Shohei, Mookie, and Freddie are. They'll do whatever they need to do wherever they are. So it's like, this is a ridiculous conversation in the first place. But secondly, I don't know. You got a lot of stolen bases out of Shohei. It's like, this is insane. I don't know. It's unfair. Like, I love that he's back in right field. I'm very much in the camp. I like that he's a right fielder. I think it's a little, I'm confused by the Ahmed Rosario DFA.
We got to talk about that too.
That I don't know what's going on there. I don't know how, like, if you make that deal to fill in a hole before the deadline, I feel bad for the guy, first off. Secondly, I can't wait until he is going to be added to a postseason roster somewhere and going to be a huge postseason producer, because that's how it goes.
Well, that was the other thing too. If you get acquired, because I've run into this before. That it happened with Jose Iglesias in Boston back, I guess it was 2021, where he wasn't able to participate on the or be a member of the postseason roster because of the period in time at which he was acquired. And I don't know if that's based on, that was also a point in time when we had that whole like waiver deadline. And I honestly can't remember how that acquisition came about. I don't know.
What's the threshold? What's the threshold to be on the postseason roster?
I honestly couldn't tell you. So that's why I'm curious about. I mean, he's going to end up somewhere. It's just a matter of, I don't know what that looks like postseason.
If that is let's just pull at that thread. If that is the case, this might be the smartest decision I've ever seen. Imagine trading for a guy that was probably highly valued amongst other teams. You trade for him, you keep him, and then you DFA him, and he's not even eligible to participate in the postseason for those other said teams. That might be one of the most genius things ever. If that was on purpose, that's crazy cool. I don't know though.
AJ asks, better yet, why didn't Lux get traded since he's blocking other talent and he can't play shortstop? Honestly, I don't know why the Lux experiment
I would have DFA'd him. I would have DFA'd him. I mean, he's still, I guess he's still got trade value, and you maybe just want to wait till the offseason for that. But like, I don't know. Back to Mookie. Getting an MVP, yet another MVP. You have 3 MVPs and your first 3 hitters in the lineup, but getting him back, it's better than anything you could have done at the deadline. Getting him back in right field where he can be comfortable makes a ton of sense. I think he's so productive as a leadoff guy, but like, you can argue that this is such an easier path to get back in when, you know, one of the best hitters on the planet is sitting in front of you and you're getting to see a lot. And most pitchers are going to be pretty exhausted by your second or third at bat. So we'll see, man. But it's just like, I don't think it really matters. I feel like everything's going to work. Whatever they do is going to work at the top. But that's what I'm saying, is that I think the rest of the lineup needs a little love, dude. Needs a little help. Like, spread that out a little bit. Get someone sandwiched in between Mookie and Freddie and get some protection for that guy. I said Will Smith. I think that would help Will Smith a lot if you have someone like a Freddie hitting behind you. And we're so in love with this right-left balance. It drives me absolutely bonkers. It drives me insane. Like, there's rules behind the bullpen appearances. There's rules behind, like, number of guys that these guys have to face. Like, if you get got on one guy, it's okay because the other guy's going to be fine. And all of these guys have perfect splits on each side. So I just don't understand why it matters as much as they say it does. But welcome back, Mookie.
Welcome back, Mookie. Breaking news, if you're familiar with this particular program. It's not really breaking news, but I had to sound the alarm because we got to dial it in here. The co-sister-in-law has texted me with the weekly trivia, MLB trivia question.
If chat wants to get involved, get involved.
If chat wants to get involved, let's get involved. I'm on standby here, waiting for the question.
Good.
If you're new to this, my co-sister-in-law, and you're going, what the heck is a co-sister-in-law? I've explained this before, but basically it's the spouse of a sibling of my spouse. So it's my wife's brother's wife. And we looked it up one time, and it's called a co-sister-in-law. It's crazy. That doesn't even sound like an actual, like,
seems like a lot of work.
Familial structure or relationship, but apparently it's a thing. So the question is coming. We can keep going on. I don't know how it may take a minute for it to come through, but just
we sounded the alarm, but that's okay.
Wanted to let you know it's on. Well, she hit me up and said the MLB question's coming up, and usually it's within a minute, and we're still on standby. I think she is stumped to me because it doesn't always come while we're recording. So sometimes I'm on my own to figure it out. I think she's maybe stumped me like twice.
You flexing a little bit?
I mean, you can tell sometimes whoever's running these trivia, you can tell that they're catering to maybe a non-baseball crowd at times, but then there are some where I'm like, I don't know how they would expect anybody to know that because we've been doing this podcast we've been baseball fans our entire lives. We've been doing this podcast for some time, and we don't even know the answers to these things, and they're expecting these like sciencey tech people to know. I don't. That's wild to me.
Sciencey tech people.
Anyway, you know who's not sciencey or tech people? At least I'm guessing is Aaron Judge and Juan Soto. They're just born to be baseball players, and I'll tell you what, they are doing it, and they're doing it well as of late. Honestly, I didn't have a particular reason for including them in the rundown for this episode, but I oftentimes include topics that I encounter on social media, like in a given week, like a lot. And for some reason, Aaron Judge and Juan Soto, I mean, for obvious reasons, I just took a glance at the recent numbers, so it makes sense why I'm seeing their name their names pop up a lot. But my goodness, can you shed a little light on what's been happening? I mean, I'm pretty sure I just checked Twitter and Soto went deep yet again.
Yeah.
I think the fourth time in his last two games.
Yeah.
What is happening right now? I mean, aside from the fact that the Yankees got waxed by the White Sox.
I mean, what are we doing, bro?
Aside from
worst team in decades, and you just get given up a 12 spot.
I think was that a season high in hits for the White Sox? I think I saw
this
or something.
Freaking team. Let me tell you.
Aside from that, what's going on with these two? I mean, they're taking the league over by storm right now.
It's stupid, bro. It's stupid. The OPS numbers they put up. They're both walking at like a very similar rate right now. They were talking on MLB Central this morning, and they were talking about, because after the game, they were like complimenting each other, like in two separate interviews.
Okay, that was so weird. Stop. That was so corny, so gimmicky. If you're gonna get on Machine Gun Kelly, which I'm really not trying to sound like I'm a defender of Machine Gun Kelly.
This?
No, you called him a cornball for just doing something nice for a fan. You want to talk about corny? And look, you got to stop being so surprised that I'm like, I have this bias against Aaron Judge and Juan Soto. I don't channel that enough, to be honest with you, or just Yankees in general. I don't channel that enough. So don't act surprised that I think it's corny, but it's corny. Okay, they're sitting there. Hey man, hey brother, who do you think is the best hitter in the league right now? And they're just over there like making out with each other. And somebody, I saw one thread and somebody was like, after they read the replies that they shared about one another, they're just like, so are they going to kiss now? Or it was goofy. More so on the part of one particular guy, because I think it's kind of obvious who the better of the two is in that regard, but it was just goofy. Oh, we got the trivia question.
All right, whatever.
In 2004, what relief pitcher was the only player league-wide still wearing the number 42 or retired in 1997?
All right.
That's your guy.
He's right there. Oh, our logo's blocking it. Mr. Mo.
Tough.
Do you have to say Mariano Rivera, or can you say Mo? Are you typing it out?
I have to say.
Do you know if it's is it like a multiple choice thing that they're doing, or?
I think it's just standard trivia. You just have to bring the answer to the table without any assistance. I believe.
Without any assistance. We don't
Let's see here. Back to Judge and Soto though. Yeah. Okay. So their comments, I got them pulled up. So just in case you haven't heard about it, they're asking Judge and Soto like, "Hey, who's the best hitter in the league?" Aaron Judge on Juan Soto. He's the greatest hitter in the game. If you leave him a pitch in the zone, he'll do damage. Juan Soto on Aaron Judge. I call him the greatest hitter in the world. Look at his numbers. He's just unbelievable. He makes my job easier.
Shut up, dude. Tell me, where's the lie? Where are they wrong?
Well, somebody has to be lying. You can't have two of the best. And I think with the way that the last few seasons have gone, we know the answer. And you just have Judge over there being the lowly, humble peasant, trying to play it off and shine the light on Soto.
That's a good leader right there. That's what that is. I would say
goofy.
I was thinking about this. I was thinking about this today. I know Judge is putting up the numbers he's putting up. But I think Juan Soto's the better hitter. I think Judge is so good as a hitter that his misses, he's so strong and big that like his misses end up being productive. I think Juan Soto is a better hitter. I think he controls the zone better. I think he has a better eye. I think he does. You and I talked about like how Manny Ramirez used to like bait pitchers. Juan Soto baits pitchers. And you can tell that like, and what I mean by that is like Manny Ramirez would, if there was a scenario, say it's in the first inning, no one's on, and there's, a slider down and away, Manny Ramirez would almost look silly on purpose because he felt like I want to document that, and I'm going to want you to throw that pitch again later in an at-bat that means more, and I'm going to make you pay for it. That's what I mean by baiting. He would trick pitchers into doing that kind of stuff. Juan Soto does the same thing. Judge is just really good. But like if we're looking at like comparing, it's like, one guy's 32, 33, the other guy's 26, and like Juan Soto is going to continue to grow and get better, and they're both insane. But I think like, yeah, right now it's kind of a toss up, dude. They're both it's crazy to watch. It really is. If there was anything else happening in this lineup, I would have no doubts. But these two are just like, with what they're able to do. I mean, every list that they're on, it's like it's Babe and Gehrig.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I've got some nuggets here for us. Right off the top, your current entering Wednesday, your current Major League OPS leaders at the top. Number 1, Aaron Judge, sporting a clip of 1165. Juan Soto is sporting a clip of 1042 at number 2. Justin Havens on Twitter shared a tweet, and it says Aaron Judge has an OPS of 221 and Juan Soto has an OPS plus of 189. In the modern era, or since 1900, there has only been one pair of teammates where both had an OPS plus of at least 189 with a minimum of 500 plate appearances in the same season. And 2 names you mentioned, Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig. Some more nuggets here for you for those that are interested. At Big Baby David _ on Twitter said, by OPS plus, Juan Soto is having the 5th best Yankees offensive season since 1958 and the 3rd best Yankees offensive season since 1963. But Aaron Judge is having the Yankees' best offensive season right now and had the 2nd best in 2022, so we barely talk about it.
It's crazy.
Oh,
dude.
I'm not done. At Yankees Muse says qualified outfielders with a fill in the blank this season. Qualified outfielders with a 400 on base percentage. Aaron Judge, Juan Soto. Qualified outfielders with a 600 slugging percentage. Aaron Judge, Juan Soto. Qualified outfielders with 1,000 OPS plus. Aaron Judge, Juan Soto. Qualified outfielders with a 185 weighted runs created plus. Aaron Judge and Juan Soto. And lastly, qualified outfielders with a 7 F WAR. You guessed it, Aaron Judge and Juan Soto. It's just insane.
It's genuinely like I'm taking my Yankee fandom off. If you enjoy baseball at all, like just any chance you get to watch. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to resign. I don't know if he's going to continue to be a Yankee. Like I would recommend locking in on these at bats. I would recommend watching just a few at bats of a Yankees game and see what these guys do. And I mean, they complement each other, right? Like, and that's what Juan Soto's talking about in his quote. It's like having that kind of literally having one of the best seasons of all time behind me opens up a lot for me to be able to do. And vice versa, Aaron Judge is getting to, hit against somebody who's probably exhausted of having to be so pinpoint against a Juan Soto. It's crazy. And it's crazy cool watching how often Juan Soto is right when an umpire makes a bad call. It's pretty fun to be able to see that, like, he's like, yeah, no, you were wrong on that one. And he's more right than not. So
he's got eyes of a hawk.
It's crazy.
It's incredible.
It's really crazy.
Is. And
he swings the least, and he has some of the best numbers in baseball.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't compute. And this is just further evidence, not that you and I need to convince ourselves of this, but I feel like there's still people out there that think just because you have an MVP winner or multiple MVP caliber players on your team, that somehow equates to like team success. I was getting into it a little bit. I think earlier today, talking about how I put a post out from Brooksgate, if you follow that account, talking about the 4 best athletes of like the 4 major sports of each decade, going back to I think like the 50s or something. And there was people in the comments talking about how Trout and Ohtani couldn't be on that list because they quote played together on the same team and couldn't win anything. And in this day and age, knowing what we know about the game, knowing what we know about the numbers, the advanced analytics, what goes into actually compiling a championship winning team, it still blows my mind that people think that just because the Yankees, and I got to take my Yankees hate hat off here. It blows my mind that people think that just because the Yankees have Aaron Judge and Juan Soto means that that's a cakewalk to the World Series.
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
No.
Like what they're doing is incredible, but if you don't have anything else to support that,
right,
then that's all you need. Like that's all you have.
Right.
is the production that you're really getting out of those two. And yeah, you sprinkle some output elsewhere on both sides of the ball, but it's not going to be enough, even with as well as they're hitting at the moment and have been for the majority, if not all of the season.
Yeah, and the massive uptick in Aaron Judge intentional walks that kind of is a perfect sign for it, right? Like, it's been a while since we've seen this. I don't remember this much intentional walking going on since Bonds. Now, to be fair, that was like a whole different level. And you're seeing certain teams that have different strategies. Like, they talked about it on the broadcast with like Alex Cora in the Red Sox. Like, they were just like, let's throw to him. And look what he did in that series in Fenway. And then you have the series before, I don't even remember who they were facing, but it was like, we're not giving him anything. So if that changes, it only changes because of the production behind them. But I mean, yeah, we could do this across history, across sports. I mean, you can go back to James Harden and Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook all being in OKC and not doing anything. You can go to Ken Griffey Jr., A-Rod, Big Unit, Edgar Martinez, doing their thing in the late 90s, early 2000s with the Mariners and not getting over the hump. Like, you could do this forever. And it's a perfect representation of lack of knowledge for fandom when you don't understand that, like, how much is needed to win a ring, to win a trophy across all sports. It takes more than what meets the eye. It takes more than just playing on paper. And my heart's going to be broken here in a couple months, and it's just the way it is.
Well, speaking of production elsewhere in the lineup, just real quick here, Jazz Chisholm, I think we said was officially to the IL as of today with the UCL injury after a little bit of a scary slide into home the other night.
Beat the slide. He was safe.
He walked off under his own power. Like, he didn't hang around very long at all. I mean, maybe showed like a little bit of a.
He was doing this movement in the dugout where he was like trying to move it. It's his glove arm, but he was like trying to move it. The Yankee Twitter is very correct on like the amount of weird things going on with the leading deadline moves the last like stretch of years. It's been very, very
I saw
weird.
that.
Like Frankie Montas being in that mix, Andrew Benintendi being in that mix, Harrison Bader missing a lot of time, like Scott Efros. I mean, just like everybody they've moved.
At Yankee World, Addison, good follow on Twitter. The health of some recent Yankee trade deadline pieces. Frankie Montas hurt all of 2023. Andrew Benintendi hurt for September in the playoffs. Efros hasn't pitched since 2022. Trevino hasn't pitched since 2022. Bader played 100 of 190 games. Jazz Chisholm UCL injury. How does this keep happening?
There's also a lot of Yankee Twitter claiming that 13 is cursed, and
that's
because they need to retire A-Rod's number, which is insane. But
that's not why I think it's cursed. I think it's just cursed.
That's a bad number. It's just a bad number.
Well, specifically in New York too, just because of a certain figure that donned it there and had some rather questionable actions in his time there. But that's beside the point. But Yankees are hopeful he'll return in 3 to 4 weeks. I'm guessing that basically means he's out for the season because Yankees front office loves to lie about injuries. So
sure does. Glove arm, that makes you hope, but who knows? He is just stupid athletic, so like he could be a weird exception. I'm used to non-athleticism getting hurt on this roster and it taking a million years to come back. So maybe this is the opposite. I don't know.
Speaking of opposite, Blake Snell, as we've alluded to on previous episodes, is having quite the opposite to his first half, and it seems to be the trend over the course of his career. Took a no-hitter into the 7th, his last outing against the Braves at home. That was a pitching matchup. It's got to be one of the top matchups we've seen this year. Blake Snell, Chris Sale. Snell went six and a third, allowed just 2 hits, 0 earned runs, 11 Ks, and 3 walks over 114 pitches. As I mentioned, took a no-hitter into the 7th. Since returning from injury, I feel like the last start he had, we gave you the update, we gave you the numbers as to how he had been doing, and it was sort of mind-blowing, but it just continues to grow. The legend of Blake Snell in the second half continues to grow with every start that he has. Since returning from injury, 45 and a third innings, 0.99 ERA, and 60 strikeouts.
It's so weird.
Like, you don't have to
It's
look
gotten weird.
You don't have to do a deep dive. You don't have to search for advanced analytics to support your case on just how good of a pitcher Blake Snell is in the second half. The basic counting numbers that we look at for pitchers, that tells you the entire story right there. Like, that just tells you how dominant he's been. And I don't know. Like, I feel like the last time we talked about Blake Snell, my head was in a place where it's like, okay, yeah, good in the second half, but also I think this season is maybe more so due to the fact that it just took him longer to get going. But with every start, I'm like, okay, like, if he can round out the second half pitching like this, like, if he can maintain this, it's like we can't pretend that this isn't part of his story, part of his makeup as a major league pitcher, because this is not the first time, and I'm assuming this won't be the last time we see a second half Blake Snell that's putting up Cy Young type performances.
Does he have an opt-out?
I would imagine so, with the way the offseason went.
If Mans is just gonna
2-year contract worth $62 million, which includes an opt-out after the 2024 season. I mean, that's right. Because I remember when this happened, I was like, it was the most predictable thing.
So he gone?
He's going to try his luck again. Of course. There's no chance he wants to stay in San Francisco. No shot.
Yeah. Dude.
And he's going to try his luck and hope that this second half that he's put up invites teams to consider taking another stab at it this free agency, and maybe hope that they regret not picking him up this past free agency, because he's showing you what he can do. It's just a matter of trying to get something out of first half Blake Snell.
I know. If he wasn't a freaking Boris client, dude, I feel like he would have a legitimate shot of like, hey, let me go do a team friendly deal. You know what I mean? Give me 4 years, 80. That'd be a team friendly deal, right? 20 a year ish for him.
I mean, he's getting what, 30, 31? I mean, is it split down the middle, this contract?
I would assume so.
I mean, if that's the case, I don't know if I would drop the AAV that low. I would opt back in. Like,
then he's back in the same boat. Like, I don't think anybody wants.
And then he'll just try to do it again, and then hopefully that's enough. That's enough of a sample size where he's looking around at the league, going, what more do you want me to do? I've won a Cy Young.
Yeah.
What, 2 Cy Youngs? And I've shown you that I'm capable of putting up Cy Young numbers when you need it most. So, like, somebody can bring me a contract worthy of me actually entertaining it, or I'm just going to stay put and deal with what I've been dealt already.
I don't know, man. This is wild, though. It's going to be wild if he hits the market again, which I think he would. I think he's gotta. If he continues this way, if he just rides this out the rest of the season.
Oh, no. He's getting, I don't know why I thought it was split down the middle. He's getting 38 and a half next year.
So, I thought you were going to say this year. I was like, it's front loaded.
No. 23.5 this year, 38.5. I guess because it would that be, when did he actually sign the deal? Was it prorated?
I don't know, like freaking April.
They just had to backload it or something. Yeah,
I'm not sure.
All I had to say though, I don't know. I mean, I don't think he, with doing what he's doing right now and the body of work that he's put up over the course of his career, I don't think he's at a stage now where he wants to take a team-friendly deal. I think he's going to try to take another stab at accomplishing the goal that he set out to accomplish last offseason, knowing that he probably won't reach the maximum that he was looking for, but he's probably going to look for a happy medium between that and what he's currently set to make in San Francisco.
Maybe go a little, hey, Giants, get after it in December. You know what I'm saying? Show me a very productive December, and then let's talk extension. Maybe that's what you do. Little ultimatum. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm out. You don't do it. You don't show me that you're going to. I guess I wonder when that like date is of when you have to opt out. There's got to be a date somewhere in there.
Well, he's not going to, with the way this last winter went, he's not going to want to play around for too long. So he's going to need to know what the plan is early so he can avoid making that mistake again, because that was, as we saw, was a wreck.
See, and that's what makes me wonder of like, I wonder why the Giants didn't have a bigger deadline. Like I would have tried to go get controllable guys at the deadline and almost like sell yourself a little bit. Say, hey, we're working, we're trying, stay here, right? And instead they got rid of Soler. Like what a weird organization. I don't get it.
How do you feel about the Victor Robles extension?
I really don't get that.
Seattle Mariners bringing Robles back on a 2-year, $9.75 million deal with a $9 million team option for the 2027 season.
Yeah, and then I think I saw a plate appearance bonus.
Yeah, bonuses and escalators could bring it up north of to $20 million.
It was because it was $500,000 bonus for 500 plate appearances, and then another 500 for 600 plate appearances. What are we doing? What? No offense to Victor Robles.
No offense, and I'm happy for him. I mean, you go out, you turn your season around. You vibe well with the fan base. Seems like the fans love him out there. And look, the reality of it is, this is not going to break the bank. $9.75 million. That's nothing to them. But even then, I still feel like the Mariners and Mariners fans are going to look back at this and go, why did we do that? Like,
yeah,
it's like almost $10 million, but that could have been used elsewhere.
And you're telling me you can't get this production out of somewhere in your organization, some youth, some hopeful young prospect?
I mean, serious question. How many situations, scenarios have we seen where a guy gets DFA'd and then gets an extension
extended,
and then it pans out well?
Yeah.
Like forget just the fact that it would actually end up well. The odds I just don't feel like are very high of that happening. And again, it's not a lot of money, but it's like the money that you have shown that you're willing to spend. Why are you doing it with deals like this?
I don't understand.
I legitimately don't think this is going to work. I think he'll be serviceable over the time that he's there.
But like, what's the point?
Like, the fact that we're getting like extension notifications about this, I don't know. Like, to me, it should have been a number lower than this, to where it didn't even warrant a notification. It was like, oh, Mariners brought back Victor Robles. How much did they bring him back for? I don't know. It wasn't a lot of money, but it's like nearly $10 million. I don't know.
In the middle of August.
And I think this was like right after he was mic'd up on Sunday Night Baseball and was just seemed like a fan favorite. I was entertained by his
I like him. But let's be real. A career 675 OPS? An 84 OPS plus?
That's what I'm saying. How often does a guy get DFA'd, gets picked up in the same season, gets extended, and then it works out over the life of that contract? Then the list has to be this long. I don't understand.
They've had him for 43 games, 127 plate appearances. To be fair, he's done well.
He has.
He's done well there, but like he played 36 games in 2023. Saw 132 games out of him in 2022, but like I don't understand. It's not like it's groundbreaking money. It's not like we're gonna sit here and
yeah, which is what we've been
like
saying.
harp on it that much. It's just like if you have promise in the system somewhere, but also like if you're gonna try and do something in the off season, why have this tying you up even that much?
Or not even promise in the organization, just potential, a ceiling elsewhere.
Yeah.
With your youth.
Like I think we know what Victor Robles is.
And it's career-wise, it's not very good. I think he's playing a little over his head right now. And that's fine. Like that's good for the Mariners. They need it at this stage in the game. Might be a little too late for them, but they need the production. It just, I don't know. Doesn't make sense. We'll see.
Whatever. Good for you. Get your bag.
Alex Bregman. Let's talk about some guys here briefly that have been making some waves around the league. At Astros Future, I got a nug here for you. At Astros Future says, since May 28th, this is entering Wednesday. Since May 28th, Alex Bregman has the following line: 307, 358, 549. 15 doubles, 2 triples, 15 homers, 38 ribbies, 155 WRC plus, 3.1 F4. For third baseman, he has the most F4 and second best WRC plus during that time. He's been the best third baseman of baseball for nearly 3 months. Over his last 8 games, he's sporting an average of a clip at 432, 5 home runs, 8 ribbies, 12 runs scored. And he's currently in the middle. I don't know what he's done tonight, but entered Wednesday on a 4-game homer streak. So
I really feel like he hit one. Maybe not. I could be wrong.
It's quite possible.
I thought he did. Just in time, maybe? For a multitude of reasons. Like the Astros are hot. We told you months ago. Nobody wanted to believe us. We told you it was coming. Even with him struggling. But also he's set to hit the market this year. You think this is enough? Like if he can have a decent September and he does what he normally does in the postseason, I think he's going to get a paycheck. I'll tell you what, if I'm in the front office of the Astros, I'm getting this extension done right before the postseason if I can. Just hype me up. You know what I mean? If I'm down there in good old HOU and I get the news that our guy's getting extended, fire me up.
I mean, they've been like this. This certainly did not sneak up on the front office and the organization. Like the Breggy extension talks have been in the mix for some time now. It's like, okay, who who left of the core or really just the group that's there, do they want to be a part of the future moving forward? It seemed like there was a little bit of we'll call it lack of clarity with Bregman. I feel like that seems to be the consensus that I've encountered, which is kind of surprising because I feel like that would be a guy you'd want to keep around. But I also like they parted ways with Springer, so it's like they're not so beholden to the World Series group that much. If they're willing to let one guy go, what's another guy? I don't know.
My dream just died. He's a Scott Boras client, so he's not getting an extension.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Fair assumption.
Would be cool, though. Would be cool, right?
Would be cool. Would it be as cool, though, as a guy by the name of Jake Burger being quite possibly the hottest hitter in baseball over really since the break? Good old Jake Burger, man. I mean, who would have thought?
Now, that's a BR page that you'd be like, okay. I think this is just what he does. Homie hits. I think he crushes beer in hits just based on the looks.
I mean,
steak, beer, home runs.
I don't know if it's this sustainable at this level. I don't know
like
if he's ever been known to do quite what he's doing right now, but the pop has been there.
The pop's been there.
He's just putting it on full display right now. He entering Wednesday, got an MLB leading 13 home runs since the break. He's got 17 home runs since June 27th. He also is on a 4-game homer streak. Don't know if he got one tonight. And his past 26 games, he's hitting 361, 14 home runs, 23 ribbies, and 23 runs scored.
Yeah.
Sucks that it doesn't matter, though, for the old Miami Marlins, but,
34 home runs last year. It's a sneaky 34 home runs last year.
I don't know if I would have guessed that. If you would have given me a dozen guesses, I don't know if I would have had him with that many home runs last year.
That's what I'm saying.
But you have to imagine that was part of the reason that they ended up where they did in October. Granted, they fell flat on their face, but you got to imagine that he played a big role in that. So good for old Burger.
Yeah, because he had 53 games. So he had played 88 games last year with Chicago, 15 home runs. 53 games in Miami and had 13 home runs. Just kidding. I was looking at doubles. He had 9 home runs in Miami in the 53 games. Either way, still impressive year. I have one gripe, though. I hate his home run trot. It's hard to watch. I'm just saying, I just need to put that out there.
I think, Nate,
it's a real tough watch. Just hear me out here. Watch it and report back.
Is this something you want me to do right now?
If you wouldn't mind.
Okay, I'll
it's not smooth.
What I was gonna say as I pull this up, I think you and I are at a fork in the road because I feel like are
getting judgmental in my old age. That's for sure.
Yeah, but I think you're just getting a little more upset with things that I don't feel like should be upsetting you at this age in your life.
It's fair.
I'm looking at the home run trot right now, and it just looks like a big burly guy lumbering around the bases after hitting a ball nearly 400 feet. I don't know what to tell you.
It's just tough. It's not a good look. It's not a smooth trot.
That's a grown man. That is a grown man running around the bases.
I need a better trot. That's all.
I don't frankly think he cares. That's not how he runs.
It's tough, dude.
That's a grown man making his way around the bags. I have no problem with what I'm seeing right now.
It's ugly.
Yet another thing that you and I are disagreeing on right now that seemingly
Big Ugly Trot and MGK guy today. Good for you. Stand strong, guy.
I said that I'm Team Eminem, so we'll just need to have that stated on record again. But to revisit that for maybe some folks that joined the live stream, we got into it at the beginning of the episode talking about was Machine Gun Kelly's first pitch where he didn't throw it home, but instead threw it into the stands after he signed it. Was that a did we like that or did we not like that?
It was stupid.
I was of the belief that it was creative and unique, and Nate just for some reason got all upset and got his panties in a wad. I don't know. Makes no sense. Makes zero sense to me. Andrew says Jake Berger, Daniel Vogelbach in a hot dog eating contest.
I'd watch.
I'd pay a small fee for that. Yeah, not too much, but I'd pay a small fee. Yeah. Yeah, I have no problem with the trot. Guy just mashes, and that's what he's been doing since the break. So good for Jake Berger. Will Wagner, son of Billy Wagner.
Who needs to be a Hall of Famer, by the way?
What's up with the Blue Jays? Just, your dad played Major League Baseball?
I know.
What is up with that?
I don't know what's more of their type. Like the Orioles getting just blonde, curly haired, can't grow a beard kids, or Blue Jays just getting sons of big leaguers. Like what's more? It's kind of a toss up. What do you think?
I mean, I have to imagine that the sample size is far less for the Blue Jays, so they really have to capitalize when the right situation comes around. Because sure, former big leaguers have sons all the time, but how many of them actually make it to the point, of making it to the actual show?
Yeah, I'm telling you, if he does, he's raking immediately.
He's got what?
He's got like 5 or 6 hits.
I saw that he was is a fifth player in Blue Jays franchise history to record 5 hits in his first 2 games. I think he had 3 hits the first game, 2 the second, and was raking in the minors. By the way, I don't know if you saw that between Sugarland and Buffalo, /315, 432, 444. Had 6 bombs, 43 ribbies, and a 59-37 walk decay ratio.
Dece.
And in case you're wondering if these
decent.
things interest you, if these little statistical anomalies interest you, after 2 games, he has an OPS plus of 352. So,
Dece.
I mean, he should just retire. That would have to be probably like top 10 all time. Minimum 2 games.
I don't care how well Kikuchi does with the Astros. He could win World Series MVP this year. I still think the Blue Jays fleeced that deal. Fleeced. I didn't even realize he was in the deal.
I don't know.
I know Loperfido has kind of struggled coming over. Just wait, though. That kid is good.
I understand. And I'm like sort of on the fence about it, but I'm like, if Kikuchi continues to do what he's been doing and gives them enough of a push, I'm not saying he has to go out there game 7 of the World Series and throw 7 shut, but like if he can, if the Astros look back on this season, or specifically,
it could very well be a win-win.
Yeah, specifically post deadline. If they look back on this and go, Kikuchi was a huge part in that. I don't know if you can say that they got fleeced. I mean, sure,
it needs to be a ring. Otherwise, these names are going to keep going. The Blue Jays have names in that deal.
I suppose
You'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we're dealing with some what ifs right now.
Let's replay this in like 3 or 4 years.
That's fair. Jhonkensy Noel, a.k.a. Big Christmas. You want to talk about a grown man with a home run trot, a bat drop, a home run trot, and just a presence about himself.
Yeah.
I'm blown away. I'm not going to lie. Did you see the ball he hit last night?
Yeah.
430 feet down the line, dropped the bat at home plate like it was a Q-tip.
Yeah.
and just lumbered around the bags.
Yeah.
That is a large man.
He gives me Puig vibes. He gives me like less of like the theatrics,
Sure.
raw like physical ability. He gives me Puig vibes, dude. Are we gonna touch that that call with the 10-foot pole today? That was a pretty weird call.
Yeah, yikes.
That was a little probably not the best thing to say.
I mean, it kind of rolled off the tongue a little bit, honestly.
Yeah,
It was
that's
kind of concerning, but
a little tough, a little weird, but
I mean,
okay.
I get it. Like, who hasn't said that before?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
on a broadcast, I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the best thing.
Yeah, it's probably tough. But yeah, he gives me Puig vibes, dude. There's something about that, yeah. Hopefully it's more,
It's a cross between Puig and like Franmil Reyes.
I want to watch it again.
It was a moon bomb. It wasn't even a moon bomb. It was just a laser down the line.
I'll give you $10 to spell his name, or do you have it in front of you?
I've got it in front of me.
JH, right?
Jhonkensy Noel.
All right.
Jhonkensy Noel.
Oh my, I want to watch it on loop so many times.
Just put it on a 2-second loop and just let it live on repeat. 3 home runs in his last 2 games. Again, this is entering Wednesday. Yeah, his load. Can we talk about his load for a second? Did you see the load? Just his starting position,
Yeah, I need it again. Repeat,
and then
hurry.
and then just
Yeah, I like that.
he's got the little like leg out to the front of the box, and then just drops the hammer on anything that is even remotely close to the zone.
Oh my gosh.
Unreal. There wasn't really much to touch on beyond just the fact that, again, we're dealing with a large human being that hits baseballs very hard and very far.
That back hip coil is absurd. Yeah, dude.
The
My
power
goodness.
is real.
My word. I'm just going to keep scrolling. Oh, that's such a sick picture. Just.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, dude. The bat flips are
Yeah.
no, they're not even flips, they're drops. Which I don't know if I've said on this podcast before, but bat drops over bat flips every day of the week. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's so good.
Yes,
my kids.
I saw that.
Oh, anywho's, I
Classic.
can swipe on this forever. What a swing, dude. Yeah, like slider down and away. Goes bridge to left center. Good trot. Good trot. Bro just looks like
I didn't anticipate us breaking down home run trots on today's episode, but
yeah. Bro looks like he looks like a superhero, dude.
that he does. That he does.
So, moral of the story, if hitters have their hands low, I would typically try to get the ball up a little bit. Mans is obviously punishing baseballs down in the zone. Not even in the zone, actually. Half of these are below the zone. What a freak. That's exciting. That's some pop that Cleveland has needed. What position does he play?
Right field, I think.
My goodness.
Because I'm like 99% sure I saw he made like a dive. Yeah, he's a right fielder. He made like a diving play or something in right. So he's like showing a little bit of the leather off too, which you love to see. Yeah, the guards need this. The guards need
They need some juice. They need
just
some pop.
some pop to come along and push them over the edge this October.
Yeah.
Let's talk this weekend. Players Weekend. Maybe got a weekend series to watch.
What do we got cooked up for the Players Weekend?
All right, so Friday, and I had to think about this. I'm pretty sure they did something similar structure-wise, where they broke it up. Each day was a theme. I think they did something similar the last time they did this. Or maybe Maybe they didn't, and I'm making this up. Tell me if this sounds familiar. Friday, the theme is fun. They're highlighting fun aspects of players' personalities, friendships, and off-the-field interests. Saturday, they're highlighting causes. Focus will be on charitable and community initiatives that are important to the players. And Sunday is all about appreciation. Players will celebrate the people who helped them on their path to the major leagues. Does that not sound familiar? Haven't we done? I mean, I know we've done Players Weekend before, but like the theme, why does that sound familiar?
Are the jersey things that's dead?
Jersey, the custom nickname jerseys are in fact dead. There's a lot
okay.
of
That had a good ride.
There's a lot of clamoring. You want to talk majority minority? I think the majority of people actually want them back. Yeah.
I think you end on a high note with that one. You know, I think that was cool. You know, it's I'm okay with that being done. I didn't need like the black and white jerseys again. That was tough. That was a tough look.
Yeah, not doing that again. No thanks.
So I'm assuming all of this is going to be expressed in cleats and gloves, right?
Cleats,
sleeves,
bats. I would imagine sleeves.
Bats.
I think they're doing
a lot of bats.
I think they're doing something with the hats. They're doing some embroidery work on the sides or something.
I think the numbers are going to have like a little theme, I believe, right?
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, the numbers. That's what it was. My question to you though, and tell me what you think here. I'm not saying this is the case. I want to play devil's advocate here and propose this question to you.
Interesting.
Let me preface this by saying I think Major League Baseball has taken great strides in the last few years to address this issue, this need, something baseball fans have been clamoring for some time now. Mm-hmm. But what do you think that this says about the game of Major League Baseball when you have to dedicate a weekend to highlighting the fun aspects of the game?
It's a good point.
Again, I'm not saying that the league isn't as a whole highlighting the fun aspects of the game, but it just seems odd to me that you have to dedicate a weekend towards highlighting these things. I feel like, especially with as long as the season is, I feel like this should be like a season-long initiative. Like, let's figure out ways to highlight these guys, the charities or the causes that they're a part of. Highlight their stories a little bit better. And again, to reiterate, baseball is doing much better. I'm not going to sit here and say that they haven't been. I just think it's interesting that they're like, oh, let's bring Players Weekend back in the midst of us trying to make an effort to address these things already. I don't know. It's just, I'm posing the question. I didn't know if that seemed odd.
It's a fair question. That's a fair question. I don't fully disagree. I don't know. I see both sides of it, I guess. Because like I personally, like, I nerd out on a uniform. Like, I nerd out on like color coding in that uniform. So going against that color coding, I'm not saying it's like crazy. I don't know. This weekend, I'm kind of whatever about it personally.
Yeah, no, I get it. And some people like it more than others, and that's totally fine. There shouldn't be like, if for you, for example, and also sort of myself, if you say that you're a traditionalist and you just like the uniforms to be as is, and you like minimal experimenting, like a City Connect is fine, whatever, throw in an alternate or whatever, that's fine. You said it yourself that, like, I remember years ago, in fact, I think it was just before the concept of City Connects was even announced. You were like, we need to like have a city themed. I remember the post. I remember making the post with the quote graphic. You were like, we need city themed uniforms. And I can see the post in my head. So you were at least on board with like mixing in an alternate in there.
I was the culprit for sure.
Because you pointed out, and it's a valid point, that like the season's long. Like there are
Right.
plenty of opportunities to incorporate something like this and it not be that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But just because you say you're maybe a traditionalist in that sense, doesn't mean that you should get any unwarranted hate from the other side and vice versa. Like everybody's got their own taste, and this weekend maybe more for some than it is for others.
I just think I think you're right. Jamming it into a weekend is kind of weird. Like if everyone is doing it, it's almost like no one's doing it. Like it's an overwhelming amount of things. If we're trying to bring up these charities, every single one of these players has their own charities.
Or is working with somebody.
One. All of them. So to have one day where we're bringing it up and it's going to be jammed down our throat of like, it's overwhelming. I'd rather see this of like an AL NL thing. Like give AL a players weekend in like, I don't know, like May. Give NL this players weekend. So we can at least kind of separate this a little bit and like appreciate some of those things. Like I love that they're doing that. I'd like to see more teams, and not to be too much of a homer. I don't know if other teams are doing this, but like the Yankees have a game where it's like it's really built around like the Rizzo Foundation. Like the Rizzo does like an insane amount of stuff, and they actually like put a barcode on like the clicker on the game, and they're like bid to win a catching lesson from Trevino. Bid to take BP with Aaron Judge, bid to go on like a night on, like whatever it may be, right? You know, take a Yankee tour with, you know, Brian Cashman, like whatever it is. And all these guys are like donating their time. And it's like it's the whole game where you can bid in and do that. Like if baseball could do that on a big scale, and there's more opportunities for each team, each guy to stand out, versus everything being crammed into like a 24-hour period. Of these 3 days that you're saying, I think the charity one for me is like the coolest. I am a sucker for the who helped me get here.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, like that's super sick. So I'm curious to see how it goes. I like it. I'm not like, I don't know. I'm not like marking it down on my calendar.
Sure.
You know,
that's kind of where I'm at too. Like I think the concept is cool. Like any initiative that you can take, and you always have to put yourself in the shoes of these kids, man. Like you see that the impact that it has on the kids, and that's ultimately what all of this is about. That's like why all of this takes place,
and why it's placed around Sunday night's game with the Little League.
With the Little League World, Little League Classic coming up this weekend. So you have to keep that in perspective. But you know, like I said, some people enjoy it more than others, but ultimately, like, it's not so big of a deal that it should upset you that it's happening, but it's also like not so minor of a thing where it's like, oh, what's going on? Like, you should at least be aware that it's happening and know that like the league is making an effort to bring awareness to these different facets of these guys' stories. So
like imagine if each weekend, if there was one weekend throughout, I don't know, like where you give like each team an opportunity, or two teams like an opportunity to be like this, and then you could really sit there and like talk about that and be like, what's your charity? Like, we can't do that with every team. We can't hear every guy's story across the league in 2 days, 3 days. So you're right, MLB is doing good. I'd just like to see more of it and not so concentrated on one weekend.
Speaking of this weekend, some games to maybe keep your eye on. I didn't specifically pull one out like I usually do, and I'm certain that you didn't either, Nate. But there are some good matchups to keep an eye out on. Seattle and Pittsburgh, say what you will about the postseason odds, but some decent pitching there. You got Logan Gilbert and Paul Skeens. Luis Castillo, Bailey Falter, George Kirby is also going on Sunday. So if you're into pitching, maybe some games keep an eye out on. The Little League Classic, I believe this year, that's Yankees Detroit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you got Garrett Cole opening that series on Friday. Sunday, do we have the Sunday starters?
Sunday would be Stroman and Skubal. Dang it.
So an interesting matchup there. Some good pitching matchups, some games with certainly playoff implications. Scattered throughout. Boston's visiting Baltimore. That 4-game series starts Thursday.
Could this, if that one gets ugly, it could be real scary. Like it could be close to panic button for Boston. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the 4-game against Baltimore is huge for sure.
Yeah. That's a big series. It's a real big series.
I would argue bigger for Baltimore though. Like I mean, Sox are already kind of on the fence as it is. But Baltimore needs to figure some things out if they want to win the division that I think a lot of people had them pegged for at the start of the year. So,
right.
And then just as I'm scanning the weekend, I see Clayton Kershaw and Sonny Gray on Sunday. Some good ones. Brandon Pfaadt and Taj Bradley. Taj Bradley's been throwing exceptionally well the last couple months.
You want to know a low-key series? Can't believe I'm saying this in August.
Who you got?
A's Mets. The A's have been like, have you seen it? I think they've won like 8 straight series.
The A's just played the Mets.
Playing them again.
The Mets are playing the Marlins this weekend.
I'm looking at Thursday, bro.
Yeah, they're wrapping that series up. The weekend
that ends?
Yeah, Thursday. Oh, I see what you're saying. You thought it started Thursday. No, they're wrapping the series up Thursday, and then the Mets are playing the Marlins starting this weekend.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, speaking of that series, the
A's.
Mets and A's, they got a little beef going there. Did you see that?
Yeah, I like that. I like what I'm seeing out of the A's. I really do. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny or sarcastic.
No, the A's are like actually not terrible.
They can bang, dude. Yeah.
One of the best offenses since the All-Star break.
Yeah.
Insane. Like top 5, I think. I think we just talked about it like a week ago. Like top 5 offense in all of baseball since the All-Star break.
The Dodgers, I tell you what, they can't afford to mess around with the Cardinals this weekend. Padres got the Rockies.
Is that in? Oh, that's in Colorado. Ooh,
Yeah.
Padres about to bang. And you got Cal Quantrill this weekend. Yeah, they're putting up at least 20 one of those games.
Diamondbacks in Tampa. The Dodgers just got to be looking in the rear view the rest of the way out.
Zach Gallen, Jeffrey Springs on Saturday. I'll be honest with you. I kind of like this approach to looking at weekend series to watch. Just kind of bouncing around the league, highlighting some pitching matchups. This is fun.
As do I.
Yeah. Garrett Crochet, Spencer Arrighetti. I mean, Crochet's been throwing obviously well, but Spencer Arrighetti, as of late, had a rocky first, call it 2/3 of the season, but has really turned a corner, I would say. Yeah. So all that to say, I mean, you can't watch all those games, but do your best to maybe catch some of those matchups.
Get them in.
Like I said, if you like pitching matchups, there's something for you. If you like high stakes, playoff.
Ooh. ESPN has officially added the playoff percentage, chance of playoffs, to their standings page. I love these.
Oh, I like this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing it.
Yeah. That's fun.
Love that. All right, well, check that out if you're interested in playoff percentages. But other than that, I think that's all we got.
Good stuff, old chap. Sunday/Monday, whenever you hear it, we got to get back to some name that player again.
We might save that for next Wednesday. I like making that a end of the week segment, or any game that we really go with. No, not we're an hour. We're an hour 20 minutes deep into this thing.
Well, that's because our people are awesome and they're just hanging out.
That's true. Just hanging out, talking to them.
They love us. Cool. Good stuff. Good stuff today. Proud of you. Keep it up. All right.
Proud of you.
I like your hat too.
Thanks, man. Shout out Terry Blacks.
Yeah. Little BBQ. All right. Well, don't go chasing curveballs.
Love you all. And as always, looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.